Hey there! Do you live with migraine and also struggle with anxiety? If so, you are definitely not alone. Half of people living with migraine also have anxiety, and our anxiety symptoms can exacerbate our migraine symptoms and vice versa. So today I'm here to bring you a yoga practice that can help soothe your anxiety. We'll be using a chair to begin with and also move on to the mat. So you have lots of choices to help you calm yourself no matter where you are and what props you have. So thank you for joining me. Happy Migraine and Headache Awareness Month. 1st of June, we're celebrating and bringing awareness to migraine and headache for the entire month of June. And let us begin. So, a couple things about why yoga is so beneficial to help with anxiety symptoms and also, in turn, migraine. Yoga is incredibly effective at turning on the relaxation response in the body. We often go between our parasympathetic response and our sympathetic response. Sympathetic is going to be giving you that fight, flight, or freeze response. It's going to increase tension when we are in a sympathetic nervous system response state. Our breath is more shallow, it's more rapid, we have more tension up in our neck and shoulders. And when we are flowing into the parasympathetic response, our rest and digest response, our breath is slower. It tends to be a little bit lower. We feel it perhaps more through the belly, deeper into the diaphragm than in the chest. Our muscles feel more relaxed or maybe a little more drowsy. So to help us get out of that fight or flight, we want to try to move us into the sympathetic response. When you're dealing with anxiety, there's a few different ways to help you navigate that. So one is the power of your breath. A longer exhalation is going to help stimulate that relaxation response in the body. So we're going to get to that. But sometimes when your mind is going a mile a minute, it can be hard to just go from racing thoughts to just stillness. So I find yoga is really helpful because we can move, we can get out of our head and into our body very quickly and effectively. So we're actually going to start our practice today with some movement, then move into breath. Because it's very normal when you are feeling anxious or just tend to have anxiety in general, that coming into a place of stillness doesn't feel relaxing. And so easing into it with some movement can help. And then we'll do some movement on our mat and then finish off with a couple restorative yoga poses that use props, are very slow and grounding to also help ease your stress, help you feel more grounded to the earth rather than all up in your head. All right, so let's join in. And if you are joining me live, love to see you. Who's here? You can type #live or #replay if you're watching us later. It helps boost the algorithm so more people see us, and I just love to see who's joining. So we'll begin with some movement. We're going to make big movements and move from our head into our body. So I'm going to scoot to the edge of my chair here, and we're going to start with some big torso circles. So we're going to circle around the seat, and you can make this as big or as small as you'd like. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. That process of meshing our movement with our breath can help ease a lot of tension, can help focus the mind as well. Inhaling and exhaling back, and let's reverse it. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Making this big and as exaggerated as you'd like. 2 more there. Good, and then come back to center. And to help with that upper body tension that often arises during a time of stress and anxiety, let's interlace the fingers. We're gonna push the sky up and big circles with the hands. And now we're getting into the ribs. Make it big and loose. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, but you're just going in through all the nooks and crannies of the upper back, smoothing it over, and then reverse. It's like we're dancing in our chair here. And then make it a little bit smaller this time. Go the other way, and we're just gonna make it even smaller so you feel this a little more isolated. And reverse. Good, and then exhale it down. Lift those shoulders up, and then sigh it out the mouth. Good, roll it up. Hold, sigh it out. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale, sighing it out the mouth also stimulates the relaxation response. And then let's reverse it. Let's make this nice and big so we're rounding forward. A few more of these. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck, building some heat through the upper body. Good, and then roll it back and down. And now we're gonna do a version of cat and cow in our chair, but we're gonna use the arms. So I like to just get really big with our movements when you're feeling anxious so that you can just start to release some energy. You can stay where you are. I'm just gonna turn so you can see what I'm gonna do with my arms. So for this cat and cow, when you inhale, you're gonna take your hands to your rib cage, lift the heart, slight back bend, and then on exhale, round the spine for cat, and then reach your hands forward. Inhale, heart opens. Exhale, round and reach. Good, big, big inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Make it as big or small as you'd like. Inhale and exhale. Good, and come back to neutral. And then to help with any neck and jaw tension, we're gonna do a few rounds of horse blows, which was recommended to me by my dentist for TMJ tension. So we're just gonna blow it out the mouth a couple rounds. Take a breath in. Good, I do this all the time. Inhale. One more when you're ready. Good. And then let's finish out with the neck. I'm going to do some half circles with the neck where I'm going to allow the chin to come forward and then right ear to right shoulder and back to center. Left ear to left shoulder. So I encourage you to take this as slow as you like, especially if you do feel a little dizzy. You can just hold one side for a while and then switch sides. You don't have to flow with it. Let's do one more each way. And then chin back to chest. Take one hand to the forehead, bring your head back. So now that we got a little energy flowing, getting back into our body, let's do some breath work. All we're going to start with is breath awareness. So having the physical sensation of one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly is soothing all on its own. You can keep your eyes closed or open. And feel the breath. Simply turning on your sense of touch and feeling so that when you inhale, you're noticing the rise of your chest and your belly. And as you exhale, you notice how the chest and belly release and drop back. And notice the pattern of your breath. Doesn't matter what it's doing. Often when we are in a more anxious state, our breath will be a little more irregular. Maybe you kind of have like a big inhale and then use a big exhale, and it might go in and out. Doesn't matter what it's doing. You're just watching and feeling it, most importantly. Softening the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyeballs, releasing the jaw, and softening the neck. So just through that process of observing the breath and slowing down, the breath might change a little bit, it might slow down, it might become a little more even. And what we're going to do now is simply focus on smoothing out the breath so that it's more even, so that in-breath and the out-breath feel even. There's smoothing out any jagged edges to the breath. Doesn't even mean taking a huge breath in and out, just smoothing it out. And the next step is going to be lengthening your exhale any amount. So breathing in that normal in-breath through the nose, and then exhaling through the nose as well, but we're just lingering a beat before we take the next in-breath. So continue on your own, just lingering in your exhale a tad longer without any strain, knowing that you can always return to your natural breath anytime you notice yourself getting agitated, right? That's not what we're going for. It's just a process of observation and slowly but surely adjusting our breath to help us feel calmer. Slightly longer exhales. Let's take one more round like that on your own. And release your hands. So I highly recommend taking these little breath breaks throughout your day. I usually try to take a breath break when I get into the car before I start the ignition. Just these little pressure release valves throughout your day to help decrease tension in the body and also decrease tension in the mind, which is all connected. So we're going to move on to our mats now for a little more active yoga practice. So we've done some kind of gentle movement in the chair. We've done some breath. Maybe you're feeling a little more chill, maybe not, doesn't matter. But now we're going to do something more active, because sometimes for some people, just more vigorous movement is like a faster way to just get out of their heads. So for this one, we're going to come onto our bellies here, and we're going to flow through a little cobra pose and child's pose flow. So start with your hands underneath your shoulders, forehead down. Press the tops of the legs down. Inhale the heart up any amount. And then on your exhale, we're going to push up and back to child's pose. On inhale, we're going to come to a plank on the knees and lower down. Good. So we've got the mechanics of it all, and we'll start to speed it up. Inhale, cobra, elbows in and bent. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale to that plank on the knees. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, press the tops of the feet. Exhale, lift the hips, back to child's pose. Inhale to that plank. Exhale, take it down. 2 more like that. Notice as you're just focusing on your movement, you're focusing on your breath, your mind doesn't have as far to wander and stress. Inhale to plank. Exhale down. Last round. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, we're all going to take it down here. And we'll rest in what's called superior pose. It's one of my favorite poses on a high pain day. If you have a little cushion, you can even fold up your mat. We're going to rest our forehead down and then take your interlaced hands at the back of your head, right where the skull and the neck meet. And I like to rest my thumbs on my neck. Sighing it out the mouth, releasing tension. And then coming to stillness, feeling fully supported. You can add a gentle tug towards the crown of the head with your arms and hands, getting a little bit of space through the neck. Take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, release your hands. Hands come under the shoulders and push on up. All right, it's time for supported child's pose. One of my favorite poses to calm and relax and feel supported. So you can do this with a stack of pillows, a bolster, stack of blankets. You don't even need a prop if you don't have anything. The big toes are going to touch here. And if sitting on your heels feels tough on your knees, scooch a towel, a blanket under there. That can help. We're going to fold forward and turn your head to one side and rest in supported child's pose now. A key part of calming anxiety is simply to feel supported and taken care of. And we're physically experiencing that in restorative yoga. And then as you come to stillness, focusing your awareness of the breath. And I want you to particularly focus on your breath in your low back area. You actually take a lot of breath space through the back body. So focus on your breath all the way through the back, noticing how the ribs are spreading on inhale and releasing on exhale. And then turn your head the other way. We'll continue to rest, feeling grounded and nurtured here in supported child's pose. Aware of the breath through the back body. Take one more full breath there, enjoying the peace and quiet. And then you can walk your hands back up. And I'll leave you with one more pose that you can do to increase that sense of groundedness. So we're gonna lay on our backs. If you'd like to have a pillow for your head, you're welcome to grab it. And we're also gonna use something a little bit on the heavy side, like a bolster, maybe a stack of towels on our belly. So this is gonna be a weighted breath that you can either have your bolster going crosswise or alongside the body. So you get to choose. Some days I prefer one over the other. Today I'm liking the lengthwise. And what this does is it helps you viscerally feel the movement of the diaphragm, moving up and down, moving the belly, moving that prop. And it's a bit of a strengthener for your diaphragm. The lower we breathe in the body, the more relaxation you'll experience. It's also very grounding. You can allow yourself to feel really heavy, supported by the surface below. And enjoy the rhythm of the breath. So we'll spend a minute here. This will be kind of like our Shavasana today. And as you come to stillness and thoughts dash in and out, know that the more willing you are to experience anxiety, the easier it gets. When you're willing to sit and feel it and watch it happen, it decreases the intensity of it. So it's okay if you still feel some anxiety. Just being here, it's normal. You just get to watch what it does. Take 2 more breaths, just watching what's going on in your head and in your body. And then let's remove whatever prop you're using. Roll to your side. Sit on up. Feel into how you're doing now. And however it is, whether you feel more relaxed or not, simply that process of observing it is helpful, of being willing to sit with your anxiety without having to change it, without being afraid of it. This is going to get you out of it. This is going to decrease it. And with it, your migraine symptoms will also be helped as well. So thank you all for joining me, for helping yourself. And next week, we've got an amazing interview with an expert. I'm so excited. I'll just leave you with that little bit of anticipation, but it is a not to be missed interview next Wednesday. Thank you guys for being here and practicing with me. Bye-bye.